What's going on, everyone? You're back with Jono for another quick math lesson. In this episode, we're going to look at how to apply all the index laws that we've been dealing with in an exam condition. So this isn't going to go through the theory of how these work. It's just going to be how to apply the things we've learnt in previous videos. So if you do kind of not know how I got to a step, please go back and have a watch. So what we're going to be doing is really algebra focused. This is what's most likely going to happen in your tests at school, so it's a really good place to start. The major skill here is that we are treating our algebraic terms with the powers like we normally do, but with the big numbers or the coefficients out the front of every algebraic term, we're just treating them like normal numbers. Ignore everything else. So we're performing really basic maths on these big numbers, and the algebraic index notation is the hard part of these. So for example, this multiplication question here, we've got 4b to the power of 5 multiplied by 3b to the power of 8. So I'm going to do my index notation first. The bases here, b, are the same. So I'm going to have b, and because it's a multiplication question, I just add the little numbers together, which becomes b to the power of 13. And just like I said, to get the coefficient out the front, I just have to treat the big numbers like normal. That's a 4, that's a 3, they're multiplied together, so that's all I've got to do. So this becomes 12b to the power of 13. This next example is going to have a few more negatives, but nothing really changes. 7c to the minus 4 multiplied by minus 3c to the minus 3. So the first thing I'm going to do is plus these two indices together, which becomes c minus 4 plus minus 3 is minus 7. Just use your calculator if you need to, just to double check. And then the 7 and minus 3 get multiplied together, so the number out the front is negative 21. If you want to write this with positive indices, if that's what the question says, this becomes minus 21 all over c to the power of 7. If we are asked to divide something, we minus the indices and divide the normal coefficients, just as you usually would. So for this one, I'm going to minus those two powers away from each other, so my answer is going to be x to the power of 5. Then in my calculator, 8 divided by 4 is 2. That's my final answer. Just make sure that we are dividing the terms in the correct order, because it does now matter. With multiplication it doesn't, but just to make sure we're on the right track. So for this one, x minus 3 minus 7 means that we've got to plus that 7 onto the minus 3. So x becomes x to the power of 4. Again, use your calculator if you want to. 6 divided by 18 is equal to a third. My students do often make the mistakes of just putting the 3 there really quickly. Just double check, especially if that first number is smaller. Finally, when we've got a negative number, we just switch its position in a fraction. So for this one here, 7x to the negative 4, this becomes all over x positive 4, and the coefficient out the front stays on top. This process of switching the term with the negative indice even works if it's at the bottom of a fraction already. In this example, 2 over q to the minus 2 becomes straight away 2q to the power of 2. Because it's a negative on the bottom here, we can move it to the top and change its sign. Finally, this is a little bit of all our skills together. With the brackets, this minus 2 changes a to being minus 2 and b to being minus 2 as well. Because they're both negatives, we can swap them in the fraction. So we've got b over a, and both of their powers become positive. So b squared over a squared. I hope you found this helpful. I know we went pretty quick through them, but if you are looking for the theory behind any one of these examples, please have a look at my other videos just to make sure you're on top of it. Thanks so much, guys, and I'll see you later.